Welcome, dear traveler, to a realm of infinite night skies, twinkling stars, and the soft glow of dreams. Tonight, you will embark on a journey with a unique protector, the Starlight Guardian, a mystical figure who guards the stars and ensures that the dream world remains safe for all who wander into it. But, unlike other stories, this one is different. The Starlight Guardian's mission is not only to protect the stars, but to guide souls through the delicate transition between night and day, sleep and wakefulness. This is a story of calm, of light in the darkness, and of the magic found in the quiet spaces where dreams take root. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to relax. Let the quiet of the night embrace you. This is not a world where danger lurks, but one where the only concern is finding peace in your heart. So, close your eyes and let the soft glow of the stars welcome you into a world that exists between sleep and wakefulness. Chapter 1. The Sky Beneath Your Feet. In a small village nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a young dreamer named Lila. By day, she was like any other child, playing with friends, listening to tales, and exploring the wilds of the forest. But by night, Lila was different. She would lie awake under the dark sky, staring up at the stars, entranced by their twinkling lights. She often wondered if there was more to the night sky than met the eye. Sometimes, in her dreams, the stars seemed to speak to her, urging her to follow them. One quiet evening, as the moon rose high, Lila felt an unusual tug in her heart. It was as though the stars were calling to her, guiding her towards something hidden in the night. She slipped out of her bed and walked outside, the cool night air kissing her cheeks as she gazed at the glittering stars above. As Lila's eyes scanned the heavens, a soft voice broke through her thoughts. "You are ready," it whispered, not from above, but from within her heart. Without thinking, Lila followed the pull, walking toward the forest. As she passed the old oak trees and gentle streams, she saw a faint light ahead. It shimmered like the glow of distant stars, but much closer, and it called to her, gentle and inviting. The closer she walked, the brighter the light became, until it illuminated the path before her. There, in the clearing, stood a figure cloaked in silver light, their face hidden beneath a hood. "You have come," the figure said, its voice both comforting and powerful. "I am the Starlight Guardian, and tonight I need your help." Lila felt a rush of wonder and curiosity. "Help? How can I help? I'm just a dreamer." The Guardian's voice was calm, like the breeze on a quiet evening. "You are more than just a dreamer. You are a child of the stars, and the stars have chosen you to walk beside me." Lila's heart fluttered. "But what is it you need?" The Guardian lowered their hood, revealing a face that seemed to shimmer with the very light of the stars themselves. Their eyes were like pools of deep space, vast and ancient. "The dream world is in danger," the Guardian explained. "A shadow has entered the night, seeking to steal the dreams of those who sleep. We must find the source of this shadow and restore the balance before the stars fade from the sky forever." Lila felt a surge of determination. "What do I need to do?" The Guardian extended a hand, the silver light surrounding it like a gentle mist. "Come with me, and I will show you the way. Together, we will protect the dreams of every soul." And so, with a heart full of wonder and a mind brimming with questions, Lila stepped forward, ready to embark on an adventure that would take her beyond the stars and into the very heart of the dream world. Chapter 2. The Path Through the Dreaming Forest. The Starlight Guardian led Lila deeper into the forest, where the trees seemed to whisper in languages only the night could understand. The air was thick with magic, and the path ahead glowed faintly with stardust, guiding their way. Lila had always loved the forest by day, with its towering trees and chirping birds, but by night it was something else entirely. It was alive with a quiet energy, a sense that something wonderful and mysterious lingered just out of sight. As they walked, the Guardian spoke softly. The dreaming forest is where the spirits of sleep reside. Here, dreams are born and given shape, but the shadow that threatens this world has been creeping through these trees, seeking to corrupt the dreams of all who rest. Lila looked around, her senses heightened by the beauty and danger that seemed to lurk in every shadow. "How can we stop it?" she asked. The Guardian's eyes shimmered. "The shadow is like a thief in the night, stealing fragments of dreams and turning them into nightmares. To stop it, we must journey to the heart of the forest, where the dream well lies. The dream well is where all dreams begin. It is the source of all the peace and beauty in the dream world." Lila nodded, determined. "Let's go, then. We can stop the shadow, right?" The Guardian smiled, though there was a hint of sadness in their eyes. "We will try, Lila, but the journey ahead will not be easy. The shadow has already begun to warp the dreams of this world. We must be cautious." As they ventured deeper into the forest, the trees began to grow taller, their branches twisting like the arms of ancient guardians. The starlight overhead flickered and shifted, as if the very sky was holding its breath. Suddenly, a faint sound reached their ears, a soft, almost melodic hum. It seemed to come from the very earth beneath their feet. Lila stopped, listening intently. "That sound," she whispered. "It is the Dreamweaver's song," the Guardian explained. "It's a protective melody, meant to keep the shadows at bay. But now, it is weakened. The Dreamweaver is losing her power." Lila felt a pang of worry. "What can we do to help her?" The Guardian's gaze softened. "We must reach the dream well. Only there can we restore the balance and stop the shadow from consuming the dream world." And so, they pressed on, the sound of the Dreamweaver's song fading behind them as they neared the heart of the dreaming forest. Chapter 3. The Dream Well. The clearing in front of them stretched into the distance. Bathed in an eerie yet soothing light, the air seemed to hum with quiet energy, as if the land itself was alive with dreams. In the center of the clearing stood the dream well, its smooth stone surface shimmering under the soft glow of starlight. The well radiated a powerful warmth, as if it held the essence of every dream ever dreamt. Lila approached it slowly, her eyes wide with wonder. The light surrounding the dream well was not harsh or blinding. Instead, it was soft, warm, and inviting. It made her feel as though she was surrounded by a gentle embrace. As she knelt beside the well, she reached out to touch the surface, and immediately felt a surge of peace wash over her. The gentle ripples in the water seemed to whisper secrets of the dream world, filling her mind with visions of peaceful landscapes, faraway places, and the beauty of rest. "This is it," the guardian said softly, standing behind her. Their voice carried a sense of reverence. This is the source of all the dreams that fill the hearts of sleeping souls. All the beauty, all the joy, every fleeting moment of wonder, it all begins here. Lila gazed into the dream well, her reflection shimmering in the water, but beneath the calm surface, something else was moving, something dark and unsettling. At first, it was barely noticeable. A shadow like smoke or mist, swirling beneath the surface, but as she watched, the shadow grew larger, darker, and more defined. "It's the shadow," Lila whispered, her heart pounding. "It's here, in the dream well." The guardian nodded gravely. "The shadow has corrupted this place, and with it, the dreams of all who sleep. If we do not act quickly, it will spread across the entire dream world and destroy everything." Lila felt a note of fear twist in her stomach, but the guardian's steady presence beside her gave her courage. "What do we do?" she asked. "We must purify the dream well," the guardian explained. "To do that, we must first face the shadow. Only then can we restore balance to this world." Suddenly, the dark shadow beneath the surface of the dream well began to rise. The water in the well churned, and the air grew colder. The once soothing hum of the Dreamweaver's song had faded into silence. Lila could feel the weight of the shadow pressing against her, like a suffocating darkness that wanted to steal her peace. Out of the depths of the well emerged the figure, a tall, formless shape made entirely of shadow. Its presence sent a chill through Lila's body, and she could hear a faint, eerie laughter in the distance. The figure's eyes were two burning points of red, glowing in the dark. It had no face, no form, just an endless, swirling void that seemed to consume all light around it. The Starlight Guardians stepped forward, their form glowing brighter as they stood between Lila and the shadow. The Guardian raised a hand, and in the air above them, the stars seemed to shine more brightly, as if answering the Guardian's call. "You cannot have this place," the Guardian said in a voice that was both commanding and calm. "This is a place of peace, and you will not corrupt it." The shadow figure twisted, moving like liquid darkness, its laughter echoing in the air. It reached out with long, wispy tendrils, seeking to envelop the Guardian and Lila in its dark grasp. Lila felt a wave of fear, but the Guardian's steady presence kept her grounded. "What can we do?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The Guardian turned to her, their face calm and serene. "You must trust the stars," they said. "They are our allies in this battle." Lila nodded, her heart beating faster. She closed her eyes, and in that moment, she reached out with her mind, connecting with the stars above. She could feel them, distant but close, their energy pure and endless. It was as though they were guiding her, urging her to do more. Suddenly, she knew what she had to do. "Let the stars shine through," she whispered. In response, the sky above them erupted into light. Stars twinkled more brightly than ever, and the light from the dream well grew even more intense. The shadow recoiled, its form rippling and twisting, but it could not withstand the light. With a great surge of energy, the Guardian raised both hands, and a beam of pure starlight shot down from the heavens, striking the shadow. The darkness screamed and writhed, but it could not hold on. Slowly, it began to dissolve, evaporating into the night like mist in the morning sun. The dream well, once again, became still, the rippling waters calmed, and the light grew softer, warmer. Lila exhaled a breath she didn't realize she was holding. "We did it," she whispered. The guardian smiled, their form flickering like the stars above. "Yes, Lila, together, we have saved this place. The shadow will not return." But Lila knew that their journey was far from over. They had protected the dream well, but there were more challenges ahead. Chapter 4: The Journey to the Star-Bound Temple. With the dream well purified, the guardian turned to Lila, their eyes glowing with quiet pride. "You are stronger than you know," the guardian said, "but there is more to be done. The shadow still lingers in the corners of the dream world, and we must find the source before it can spread again." Lila nodded, feeling the weight of their task ahead, but she also felt a sense of peace, knowing that she had already faced the shadow and emerged victorious. "Where do we go next?" she asked. "We must journey to the Star-Bound Temple," the guardian replied. "It is the center of all dreams, the place where the fabric of the dream world is woven. The shadow's influence is strongest there, and we must cleanse it before it spreads to every dream." The path to the Star-Bound Temple was long and treacherous, winding through valleys and over mountains that seemed to stretch into eternity. The further they traveled, the more Lila felt the pull of the dream world's mysteries. Strange creatures fluttered past them, dream butterflies with wings of translucent light, and gentle, glowing deer that stepped lightly across the dreamscape, leaving trails of stardust in their wake. Lila couldn't help but marvel at the beauty of this world. It was as though every step she took revealed another layer of magic, of peaceful energy that had never been seen before. It was a place of infinite possibility, where dreams could become reality, and the impossible was always within reach. As they journeyed, the guardian spoke of the history of the Star-Bound Temple, and of the ancient forces that had created the dream world. "The temple is where the dream weavers once crafted the first dreams," the guardian explained. "They shaped the world of sleep and rest, weaving it together with the threads of starlight. But now, that power is in danger." They reached a high mountain pass, and from the top, Lila could see the temple in the distance. It was a massive structure, its towers reaching high into the sky, and its walls shimmered with the light of 1,000 stars. The air around it seemed to vibrate with the power of dreams. "We're almost there," Lila said, a sense of awe filling her voice. But as they descended toward the temple, a strange feeling swept over Lila. The air grew heavier, and the light seemed to fade. The once bright stars above them dimmed, and the familiar hum of the Dreamweaver's song was gone. "We must hurry," the guardian said, urgency creeping into their voice. "The shadow is already here." Chapter 5: The Heart of the Dream World. The star-bound temple loomed before them, its stone walls gleaming faintly in the dim light. There was an unsettling stillness to the air, as if the very breath of the dream world had been held in anticipation. Lila could feel the weight of the darkness pressing against her, heavy and oppressive, as they entered the temple's sacred hall. The once beautiful carvings on the walls, which depicted scenes of celestial beauty and harmony, were now twisted and warped, their lines jagged, their figures distorted by shadows. The air felt colder here, more unnerving. Each step they took echoed in the vast hall, their footfalls like distant drums in the silent temple. The starlight that had once illuminated the space now seemed to flicker and wane, as if the stars themselves were dimming in response to the shadow's presence. The Dreamweaver's song, which had been so soothing and constant in the dream world, had vanished, replaced by a low, unsettling hum that vibrated through the very stones beneath their feet. Lila felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She glanced up at the Guardian, whose expression remained calm, but whose glowing eyes flickered with the faintest sign of worry. Their usual serene composure seemed slightly frayed, their glowing aura dimming just slightly, as though the temple's oppressive atmosphere was slowly leaching the light from them. "We're inside," Lila whispered, her voice barely a breath. "It's darker than I imagined." The Guardian nodded solemnly. "The shadow has taken root here. It is the heart of the corruption, the place where its power has grown strongest. We must be cautious, for every step we take here will draw the shadow's attention." Lila felt the weight of the Guardian's words, but despite the fear creeping in, she stood firm. This was the final trial, the place where the darkness had started, and they had to face it. They couldn't turn back now. Together, they moved deeper into the temple, each step taking them closer to the center, where the altar stood. As they walked, the air grew heavier still. The low hum in the air turned into a pulsing, rhythmic beat, as though the very temple was alive and breathing, its heartbeat in tune with the shadow that lurked within. The walls around them seemed to shift and change, as if they were alive, responding to their presence. Lila could no longer see the intricate carvings of stars and moons. They were now overrun with twisting tendrils of darkness, creeping across the surfaces like veins, spreading further with each passing moment. She could feel the shadow pushing back against her, trying to wrap around her mind and pull her into the depths of despair. But the Guardian's presence was a steady anchor. Lila reached out and touched their arm, feeling the warmth of their energy, a reassurance that she was not alone. "Stay focused, Lila," the Guardian said softly. "We must not allow the shadow to overwhelm us. It thrives on fear, on doubt, on hesitation. We must stay true to the light we carry." Lila nodded, taking a deep breath. She focused on the Guardian's light, the steady glow that radiated from them like a beacon in the encroaching darkness. With each breath, she allowed herself to feel lighter, more centered. The weight of the fear was still there, but she was learning to push it away, focusing instead on the strength that came from the Guardian's light and her own resolve. At last, they reached the heart of the temple, the altar. The stone structure stood at the center of the vast hall, bathed in a pale, sickly light that seemed to emanate from an unseen source. The air around the altar pulsed with dark energy, and Lila could feel the shadow's presence more strongly than ever before. It was as if the very core of the darkness was concentrated here, in this sacred space, where the dream world's magic had once flowed freely. Lila's heart pounded as she approached the altar. At its base, she saw a stone basin, deep and wide, filled with swirling shadows. The dark energy swirled like smoke in the basin, twisting and turning, rising in tendrils to claw at the air. It was the very essence of the shadow, the source of its power, and the thing they had to destroy. "This is it," the Guardian said, their voice low and full of gravity. "The source of the corruption. If we do not cleanse this, the dream world will be lost. All the dreams of every soul will be consumed by this darkness. Lila's gaze remained fixed on the basin, the swirling shadow within it growing more intense. She felt a pull, an urge to retreat from it, to step back and escape its grasp, but she stood firm, knowing that the only way forward was to face this darkness head-on. The guardian turned toward her, their face reflecting a deep sadness. "I cannot do this alone. I need your help, Lila. Only by combining our strength can we hope to purify the altar and banish the shadow once and for all." Lila nodded, her resolve strengthening. "I'm with you." Together they stood side by side, facing the altar and the darkness that lay within. The guardian raised their arms, and Lila followed suit, lifting her hands toward the basin. The air around them crackled with energy as they began to channel their light, sending it toward the shadow in the basin. The shadow writhed violently as the light touched it, recoiling from the purity of the starlight. But it was not enough. The darkness began to lash out, sending waves of oppressive energy that seemed to push back against them, pulling at their minds, at their hearts. Lila felt herself falter for a moment, the weight of the shadow's power pressing down on her chest. Her vision blurred, and she could feel the suffocating grip of fear creeping in, but the guardian's voice cut through the darkness, steady and calm. "Remember, Lila," the guardian said, "you are stronger than this. You have the light of the stars within you. Let it shine." Lila took a deep breath, closing her eyes. She focused on the light within her, the starlight that had guided her throughout this journey. She could feel it, deep inside her, a warmth and a strength that filled her from within. Slowly, she began to pour that light into the altar, watching as it expanded outward, pushing back the darkness. The shadow in the basin began to shrink, its form breaking apart as the light intensified. The air in the temple hummed with the energy of the purification, the light and the shadow battling for dominance. Lila could feel her body shaking with the effort, but she refused to stop. She had come too far to turn back now. With one final surge of energy, the light engulfed the shadow, and the darkness let out a terrible, hollow cry as it dissolved into nothingness. The basin, once filled with swirling black smoke, was now clear, calm and pure. Lila collapsed to her knees, exhausted but triumphant. The temple was silent once more. The oppressive weight of the shadow finally lifted. The air was still and peaceful, and the dim light of the stars began to return, brighter and stronger than before. The guardian knelt beside her, their glowing hand resting gently on her shoulder. "You did it, Lila. Together, we've cleansed the heart of the dream world. The shadow has been banished." Lila smiled weakly, her heart swelling with relief. "We did it," she whispered. "We saved the dreams." The guardian nodded, their voice full of warmth and pride. "Yes, we did, and the dream world will be safe once more."